Welcome to the Money Vikings podcast, where we conquer financial freedom. Join Greg, Jerry, and Bob as they discuss everything investing and personal finance. The Money Vikings podcast is hosted by three dads who are doing what they can each day to burn down debt and build wealth. Learn the path to true wealth. Their podcast and website, moneyvikings.com, is a treasure trove of ideas. So without further ado, here they are, the Money Vikings.
What a bonkers market. On Monday it's down, and by Friday it's up. TGIF, maybe Papa B and Mungie Pants are right. Here are top 3 investing ideas now. Welcome to the Money Vikings podcast number 52.
Great.
Bob, Jerry.
Dude, that's Greg's like extreme.
I'm bringing it, dude. I'm fully caffeinated.
Like
Cracking
hyped.
himself up.
Who are you?
Yeah, it's all just to
Man.
entertain myself. That's all this is about.
Oh, I love it. I love
Just
it.
entertaining myself.
Dude, God,
I
he's
don't
on
know.
A whole nother level today. Wow.
Well,
Hey.
yeah. Hey, everybody. So you don't know me. We're recording our show right now in the morning on Sunday, and typically we're all charged up in the afternoons and totally drunk. But at this point, we're just, we're just caffeinated.
We're just drunk.
So there you go. I'm kidding.
Yeah, right.
All right. Hey, guys. We are going to talk about our top 3 investing ideas at the moment. But of course, we got to do stuff with the news, right? And there's always so much going on that it's hard to even figure out what is worth talking about. But here's one for food for thought. Mm-hmm. Emily Hill of Bauer Stock Capital Advisors, I read this week, says, you know what? In our view, the market has captured. I do respect her. I watch her on Twitter or something, whatever social media world we're in these days, megaverse. Okay. She says, in our view, the market has captured about 5 to 6 years of returns in 1 year. While we are not necessarily, while we are not expecting a serious correction, we need to be modest about our expectations for returns, especially U.S. stocks in the future.
What you mean, stonks just don't go up?
Dude, they
Seen these
totally
charts?
do. Look at the stock market. Totally do. It's the only way they go.
Well,
It's ridiculous.
it's been frothy. And so here's the deal. She said, so what I heard in that same interview, and which I really like this because we talk a lot about alternatives. We're not just a stock investing platform and delivery of information. So she says, seek alternative pensions that you can create. So things like rental real estate. Our last podcast was all about rental real estate. So go back and check it out.
Or REITs?
Yes.
Or REITs, right? She talked about leased farmland, which totally, I was like, I got to look into that, leasing farmland.
But here's what I think. Is it relating to, like companies that buy out farmers essentially and make them like sole?
No, Bob, I
guess-
think she was saying, put your overalls on. Put your overalls on. Plant
who
some,
says I don't have them on right now? That's the question.
right. Yeah. So no, I think it's trying to create your own passive income streams, but not being completely solely dependent on growth within the broader market, right?
I love it.
Right? Yeah. I love it because I think we've been talking about this now for over a month that things are pretty high. And you were asking the other day, Jerry, what cycle are we in? And I was actually giving you a confusing answer. Like we're at the end of, we seem to be at the end of a growth cycle. Bob put up a great chart on moneyvikings.com if you're a premium member that shows the cycle we're in. But we seem to be at the tail end of a growth cycle, right? That would mean a return to what? A return to value?
Yeah. And I thought there's some comparisons out there. It look like it shows that we're doing a rotation from growth to value.
Okay.
Yeah, the big ones in there, I think, are like utilities and staples, energy. Those are kind of the ones that seem to do better.
But hey, interesting for someone to say, I think we've captured 5 to 6 years of returns in 1 year. To me, that says, for me personally, that means I would say take some profits and become a little bit defensive. That's my personal view. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you, looking at the SPY chart, and we can put this up, but it's just, I'm not too confident that going into next week that this is just kind of the rebound out of where it is. I think this is it's, referring to it as they call it dead cat bounce. I think this is hitting the peak of that arc, and it's gonna start rolling back over.
Dead cat bounce. Where have I heard that before? I was just reading the Gator Traders newsletter this morning.
Oh
yeah,
awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, his Hopium article, he nailed it like that.
Yeah.
We're giving a little plug to Brian right now.
Brian nails it on a regular basis. Brian nails it weekly.
He does. So
Gator Traders.
He wrote this great article on. He's talking about being addicted to Hopium, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it's like it's the only legal drug out there, right? And it's people, and we've talked about this. They get into these cohorts, which can be a beautiful thing. These communities where they're hyped on something and they're working with each other on finding good strategies and trades, kind of like what we do with Money Vikings. However, the kicker here is that when you have people that want to have an echo chamber and they don't want to bounce opinions off each other or have difference of opinion and actually talk through it and have a rational, realistic approach, you get high on Hopium. And so reasonable, realistic expectations go out the window. Realistic, rational, technical analysis goes out the window. Fundamentals go out the window because everybody's taking a snippet and they're tweaking the narrative to make it that it's only going to go up, right?
Bob, I got one antidote for you. Join Money Vikings Premium. Okay, we have a discount for listeners. TMV Listen. Okay, all capital. TMV Listen. Discount for premium members, for listeners of the podcast, and because we don't get completely sucked into that world you're talking about, and it's fine. And I'm with you. It's great to join communities. It's great to get excited about different companies. I get it all. But for me, it's got to be part of a holistic strategy. Okay, we're not just doing one strategy here based on one stock, based on one company. It's very hard to pick the one. Okay, it's very hard to find the next Amazon. Be diversified.
Well,
and join Money Vikings.
The beautiful thing, the beautiful thing that we have going on is that we do go into different areas and try to help people diversify and have that overall long-term wealth. But it's also it's this unbiased kind of approach or perspective on something. And I was talking with some of the members just this past week saying, hey, I'm actually thinking about, let's take this from an approach that collectively as a group we find a couple, maybe a few tickers through the week, and we identify them and try to find opportunities. If you want to do like a swing trade or a day trade style or try your hand at it, well, let's as a community, as a group, come together and find some that we're interested in. Let's approach it. If you want to do the long-term investing and the kind of
monkey pants,
not have to stress about it every day, then we have that as well, and we talk about the strategies. So
I don't know if
cater to everybody.
I don't know if I've said it before, but I've got kind of a schizophrenic sort of investing style. I've got two portfolios. So when I don't know about you guys, but when I talk about, I'm 70% equities and 30% cash bonds, short-term interest rate vehicles, that's my long-term portfolio. I have a short-term portfolio too that I'm doing these kind of options trades and swing trades. And sometimes they get mixed a little bit. Generally, if I do a trade and it doesn't go my way, then kind of it becomes an investment, air quotes, not my hope sometimes, but like Delta Airlines became an investment. It was originally just kind of a trade, and I'm still kind of waiting for airlines to recover in my short-term trading. But I sort of look at a lot of the options trades that I've been publishing as swing trades, if you will. They're not things that are going to go usually overnight unless there's an earnings and it goes well. But generally, you sit on them for 2 or 3 weeks, let time value decay, and you make money over time. But I'm all for trying to identify some tickers that we can do.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
great. That's great. And speaking of crypto, we got a couple of crypto things
What do
here
we
to
got?
share.
What do we
Yeah.
got?
So first one I wanted to share is I don't know if you guys have read this. I've read the Solana story, and it's pretty cool. So I'm going to go a little bit. I picked up some Solana a little while ago. The bottom line with Solana is that it makes transactions much faster. It's lightning speed faster than Bitcoin and ETH in terms of what it can do. And it's named after Solana Beach, Southern California.
Cool.
And it was founded by a couple of Qualcomm guys, which I did not know that either. So that's a little bit of the
Wow.
backstory. So look into Solana. I'm kind of doing more of a deep dive on it. But I did have my moment of crypto this week. I just have to
Whoa,
say.
what happened?
Okay,
Give it to me.
I got to tell you guys, I'm not into the Shiba Inu coin. Okay, I'll tell you why.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like, I guess I'm kind of like, I was looking at it and I'm like, guys, okay, Dogecoin, I got some Doge, cool, it's fun thing to play around with. But then someone just decided to like make a coin after the dog. It's starting to get a little, to me, that was a little
Right.
silly.
So a joke crypto's okay, but a joke crypto derivative, that's not okay.
Yeah, do you see how clear my logic is?
Yeah.
No,
I get it. I
okay,
get it.
so no, I'm being a little tongue in cheek here. You're
So am
absolutely
I.
right, Jerry. You're absolutely right, Jerry. My thing has always been this, and you guys know this. Does it solve a problem? Okay, and you
Hold
brought
on,
up this.
hold on. Wait, no, Jerry. It's not about solving problems. It's about not what you say. It's how you say it. That's what makes the difference.
Well, Jerry brought up something. I don't think he came up with this right off. I think he read this somewhere. But anyway, let's just attribute this to Jerry. He said
Okay,
the China crackdown this week, affected Bitcoin a little bit. But here's the deal: that ironically should make it go up, because that's the whole idea: is that an authoritarian government can't
Yeah.
destroy it, and that's the whole.
Right.
It's like so ironic. And when
Yeah.
I had thought that, and when he said, because I mean, I was thinking about it months ago in the context of Afghanistan, and
Right.
not that those people have cell phones and stuff, but anyway, it's just ironic.
I
think-
think it does show there is a kink in the chain somewhere, because the thing that was initially being presented as this kind of bulletproof thing, that if it truly was, in fact, because of what the crackdown going on in China, then there are potential risks. There are some problems there, but I can understand it though, right? Because if that truly is it, then you're talking about a bunch of miners and people being pulled out of a system, so validations are taking longer, and so yeah. I mean, how do you get around that?
I know, it's ironic. It's an ironic world. Here's another ironic story. Nicole Buffett is the granddaughter of Warren Buffett, of Papa B. Okay, she
She's
creates
going to be
her
a guest
own.
on the show.
I would love it if she was. She's an artist.
Yeah.
She's an artist. She's a painter,
Nice.
like moi, and she creates her own NFTs of her paintings. But this is so ironic because her grandpa is not into crypto, but his granddaughter is, and she said NFTs are really art as money, art as currency, which means there's more accessibility for artists and for people who want to buy art. So it's just cool. I thought that was actually a pretty another ironic, interesting story about
cool.
the world. And we have our own Money Viking NFT that sold for exactly $1.3 million times zero,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
equals
it did.
zero.
Yeah. It did.
I think
the
we were
square-
asking an
square
Ethereum.
root
One
one.
Ethereum for it,
I
right?
think we wanted a couple Ethereum. Yeah, we might throw that back up there someday. I don't know.
We can
might.
do it, but
We
we can
might.
also reapproach it. We'll reapproach it. We
Yeah.
got some new tools in the
Stand by, everybody.
here.
Actually, the art's.
Yeah.
I think the art's pretty cool. Okay. All right. Let me set up the topic, guys. Any other news items you want to mention?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, let's set it up here. Okay, top three at the moment.
Wait. We don't want to talk about any potential massive real estate company defaulting in China. None of that stuff.
No.
We
What are you
could
talking
because
about?
Okay.
we could, but I basically Evergrande. Yeah, my understanding is that it Yeah, okay. It's just one of those normal things that happens. Things get too big, too over leveraged. I mean, China, I've heard about this for years. Like they build. They build these big, huge, monolithic, condominium structures, apartments, or whatever. People are spending their life savings to try to buy them, but these companies way over leveraged. It's just borrow, and there's a point where. I mean, I guess the government intervened, but there's a point where things come home to roost. We have to service our debts. I mean, governments have to service their debts, companies have to service their debts, and individuals
they can't just print more money?
Oh man,
no,
you're so Bitcoin.
Because J Pal's arm's getting really tired of cranking that print, dude. It's getting really tired. Yeah.
Go burr.
Well, we'll see, guys. We'll see. All right. That was it on Evergrande, Bob. That's it. We're over it.
I'm still acquiring Pinduoduo, your last hot trade. Is it still?
I like it.
Okay.
I'm still into it. I'm long on that on Pinduoduo. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
cool. I was looking into it last night. Definitely, it's lower than I first entered, but I guess we call that dollar cost averaging down, right?
Yeah. China's one of those things right now that I can. It's just like the irony of the world. On Monday, I can read an article that says, don't touch China. It's so crazy. Don't invest anything. And the next day you read, wow, what a great value. Oh my gosh, Alibaba's down and Tencent and Baidu and Pinduoduo. Like, it's like, wow, load up. So I don't know. I mean, find the position that's right for you. Diversify, right?
Yeah.
That's all I could say.
Yeah. This one's in my medium-term portfolio. It's somewhere between long-term and medium-term. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on it.
I like that distinction.
So I've got some really cool investment ideas. I don't mean to screw up the script, but
do it, buddy.
Can I go into mine?
Go.
All right.
Go, Jared.
So just a couple things I wanted to say. All of this is for my long-term portfolio. These aren't day trades. These aren't swing trades, really. They're medium to long-term things. And generally, I don't feel that I need to find brand new things every day to add into my long-term portfolio. I'm pretty happy with it, and I review it about 4 times a year, and course correct as needed. And when I say course correct, it's like, okay, maybe I'm a little low on energy and need some more. Maybe I feel I'm underexposed on small caps and need a little more, or maybe I'm too exposed in large caps. It's that kind of thing. But the two that I already have in my long-term portfolio that I will bring up, I think I've mentioned them before and we've talked about them, is LIT for the thematic lithium industry and EVs and production. There's Albemarle in there and a lot of interesting companies that are producing lithium. So check that out if you are bullish on the electric vehicle industry. And then the second one I've got, and these are just kind of the side things. I've got some real cool stuff after this. But the other one is PSY. It's a next-gen altered experience ETF. It's kind of the whole bandwagon of cannabis and psychedelics being used for therapies to treat people in the future for mental health reasons and whatnot. So I feel like there's a future in that. And so those are in my long-term portfolio. I'm not just adding them today. I've had them for a few months, and I will continue to watch and maybe add in the future. But right now, they're just sitting there, and kind of just long-term bullish on them.
That's good stuff. And clever tickers always get me. I just love it. PSY. Love it.
Now, the other ones that are much more fun for me, they're more entertaining. I think just buying stocks and holding them is a little bit boring. So what I do is, like we talked about last week, I'll take some of the tickers that you guys like to recommend. I know, Greg, you were really big into SPG, right? Simon Properties.
Have been.
So I do a lot of covered calls, and I have active covered calls on Simon Properties, CAR, which is Carrier. It's called Carrier, but they're air conditioning. Air conditioning. I have 2 lots of XLE. UIS is a hot trade, kind of like Cisco, sort of an IT company, and then MVIS. I've still got that kind of bag holding a little bit, but I'm using it to sell covered calls. So these are just generating monthly income. Yeah. And with SPG, just an example for you, what I've done is I purchased it earlier in the summer, and then I sold a covered call, collected $184. Then the next month, I got $140 of dividend. the next month. Then after that, the next month, I collected $185 for another covered call. And now I've got one that I just rolled out again. That was about $300, and I will probably sell it when it gets to $10 or less. So I'm expecting like maybe collecting $290 on that. On XLE, I have 2 lots of those. So I always buy 100 shares of an underlying whenever I buy a stock, because I want the option to later do covered calls on it. It may not be my intent on entering, but in the future, if I see good premiums pop up, I will try to do that. And if I've exceeded my cost basis. So with XLE, I bought 2 lots. I've been collecting dividends. I just got XLE. I believe they recently paid a dividend, and then I've just been selling covered calls on them, getting between, I don't know, 30 and 50 bucks a month, just doing that and holding. So I just kind of do that all the time. And if I see good, and it also helps to keep doing this over and over again. You get more premium, you get a feel for what good value is for the premium. And then if it's not a decent value, then just don't wait for it to pull back a little bit so the call values go up again, and take it from there. So that's kind of how I've been doing it in the long-term portfolio.
Wow.
I think we should do so.
It's like a gold mine of information there. I took a bunch of notes.
Right?
Awesome.
I took notes. But I think what we should do is we should share so listeners out there understand, because some people may not know when we talk about covered calls what we're talking about. So this is stuff we'll get into great depths at some point with on our premium side. But essentially, he has these shares, and you have to have 100 shares to do so. But he can go into the system if somebody was trying to buy an option, a stock option. It's a strategy. But we can see that the price isn't going to go up to a certain price point, a target. He can actually go in the market and sell those price target options to people, and they'll buy them, and he'll collect the premium and hold it. And if it never hits that price target, he saves it. If it does, and somebody wants to cash out, he has to give them 100 shares. So it's a brilliant strategy, Jerry. I love it because
premium.
and we are doing one.
We're
doing one right now with UIS, and so that's a really good way for our premium members to learn about how to manage them. I keep track of the cost basis every week. I write about whether or not we're above or below the strike and what our options are. And if any members or podcast listeners have ideas for another covered call that they'd like to try, I could certainly set that up as a hot trade, and we can all manage it together. I'm thinking AT&T might be a decent one to consider. It's reasonably priced, and we could.
that would be so cool. I mean,
try something like that.
Premium members have access to our private Discord group where we all chat and share ideas, and you could set that up in there and just walk everybody through it.
Definitely.
Yeah, and more.
And more.
And
all right.
More. Yeah.
What do you got, Greg?
Thanks, Jer. Great. Good.
Sure.
I have all these notes here. I'm going to go do a bunch of research after the show and all the stuff you shared. Hey, little shout out to our Canadian brothers and sisters, our brothers and sisters up north. CNQ, Canadian Natural Resources. I stumbled upon this one last week and started adding a position. This is in my medium term, I guess you could call it, portfolio, and a way to create a little defense right now. I'm feeling a little defensive, trying to be sort of secured here as we don't know what the hell's going on. But this Canadian Natural Resources, one of the largest natural gas producers in the world, sporting a 4.5% yield. You know, I'm looking for that nice yield.
Yield guy.
I'm a yield guy. I don't go. Now I'm weary of too high of a yield, because usually that is a signal of problems. But sometimes there's healthy fat yields, I'll call them, that can be harnessed from good quality companies. And I think that's the case here with Canadian Natural Resources. So wide moat dividend aristocrat right there. Doesn't get much better than that. That's all I can say.
Can we get Bob to put some yield in your avatar?
Oh yes, that would be cool. Sort of the best thing ever is the little angels of Monkey Pants and Papa B that are just looking down on me with this look of approval and love.
Yes. This guy knows what he's doing. I think I'm gonna put an actual yield sign in the background somewhere.
Oh, thank you.
I think I should do that.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
okay, other one I'm looking at for the medium long term is Cyber, R. That is the first trust NASDAQ cybersecurity. This is part of what you were talking about, Jerry. I love macro trend focused things, and I think we can all agree that cybersecurity is not going anywhere. It's growing, is what it is.
Definitely. There's hacks every week. There's vulnerabilities every week.
I mean, it seems to be the warfare of the future, right? I mean, I think conventional armies, there probably will be normal wars, but I mean, hopefully not. But, it seems to me that countries are kind of realizing that normal wars are like too costly, but they can certainly cyber attack each other all night and all day long. And they
like
love
maybe
it.
change the altitude of the runway. Oh wait, that was done in Die Hard 2.
Oh, love. Dude, you had to give me a Die Hard reference on a Sunday. This is the most awesome thing ever. Best movies ever.
Early cyber attacks.
Yeah,
I love it.
so
I love it,
those movies were prescient? What is that word?
Prescient?
Prescient. Thank you, prescient. So cyber is a classic. Okay, and the last one I'll mention. So, admittedly, I'm just gonna name it. So Salesforce, admittedly, it's high. Okay, these are not the penny stock type things. These are well-established, strong companies. But sometimes, I think they're worth investing in. I mean, it gives a portfolio ballast. It gives it a foundation. It gives it strength. I mean, I just, over time, I just don't think anybody can go wrong with accumulating some Salesforce or some Amazon or some Apple. And again, try to find the right entry points. I mean, I definitely want to try to find these on down or dip days. But, intrinsic value, they're saying is, some analysts are saying is closer to 320. It's at 255 now. I don't know. It's a great company, great products, well managed. It's part of our Catwoman article that we put together years ago. I didn't invent that, so I don't want to take credit, but we did have fun with that. But those are CRM and a couple of Workday.
But one thing we got to remember that stuff though too is that I'm big on the percentages, right? Getting a 20% return on something as opposed to 1, but we also have to consider that 1% on something, if it moves 1% and it's like a Google or an Amazon, that that can be just as much as like a 10-15% on something that is like $2 to $3 a share.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, more, I should say, way more than that. But so that's what I'm saying. Like, we do have to consider these things, that you have these more pricier, equities that not equities, but stocks that if they move 1%, it actually is a sizable amount.
I'm just in the mindset that people should have some exposure to these giants, right? These giants are giants for a reason, and they still do have areas they can grow. They can acquire. I mean, I'm a big fan of Adobe as well. I think Adobe has a long, prosperous future. But Bob, with 2 minutes left, take us out today with a couple quick ideas, and take us out with whatever you want to say. Go for it.
So I will say this. So I'm not going to give too much because I want to reserve my stuff for the premium members. But to kind of go off what you said, I'll discuss things that were actually successful this week that we got in early. But leading with the theme of our Canadian friends, we had some great call outs on stuff like LICY. That one of our members brought up, Canadian gal, that she brought it to our attention, and it was set up technically, and they have fundamentals behind it. And I think we got, so far, I think it was about 12-ish%. At one point we were up like 18% in a matter of a few days, and it still has room to go.
Awesome.
And then we have, had a great experience with one of our members kind of doing like a little one-on-one thing. And he gave me information on the Canadian real estate market and some potential stuff that would impact real estate investors up there. So it was good to get that perspective, and awesome. Me being on the learning end. That was from our member Rookie. He did a great job, kind of helped me understand that. And these are the things, right?
It doesn't just have to be us preaching to people. I mean, this is a community
too.
This is a community. We're stress testing ideas off of each other. That's the power of it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that is
and
awesome.
then The last couple things are it's MRIN. That's the that one's the gold mine too. So this is a big one that we got in some days ago, and so we're already up like a sizable amount, and there's still room to run. But we're talking like about 50% profit right now.
Awesome.
With this one. So yeah. But anyways, that's it. I just, hats off to our Canadian friends and especially the members, bringing stuff to our attention and ideas and whatnot. I'm loving it. We have people who are now trying to practice and confirm the kind of the technical analysis stuff, and I'm impressed. Like they're catching on quickly, and it's great, man. I'm loving this. I'm loving it. It's a good community.
Hey, TMV, listen, if you're a podcast member, you get a discount. So if you want to try us for a month, I don't know, give it a shot. See how it goes. Join the Discord, join the discussion, talk with us directly.
Make some money.
Make some money. That's the whole idea.
Absolutely.
All kinds of wealth building ideas, and we'll go from there. Hey, guys, have a great rest of your day. Have a great week, and we'll see you all on Discord and on Money Vikings Premium. TMV, listen.
You're here.
Cheers.